Come on in, guys. Backpacks up front. Go ahead and sit anywhere for now. We'll get going. Just make sure you finish that before you come on in, sir. And man, if you want to make it easy, actually, I got you right here, sir. That's you. Have a seat anywhere for now, guys. All right, let's do this. Let's start. Here we go. Before we start going into more details about me in this class, I want to make sure we're in the right spot so that way I can do my attendance. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to point to a desk, and I'm basically going to say a name. If I say your name, just get up wherever you're at and move to that desk. So let's start with this. Let's start with my name. It is written like this. It's written like this. It's a V-I-G-I-L. That's how it is written. It's pronounced a little different. You know, you're going to find this out by the class, but I'll do it now. I'll throw it out there for right now. You're going to get a chance for a lot of extra credit points in this class. I call them participation points. When I was in your shoes, oh, so long ago, I was in 8th grade. If you saw me in 8th grade, I'd be that one student in the back, sitting by myself, oh, so quiet. The thing I hated the most is when we would have to read out of a book. You know, sometimes you read out of the book and the teacher will call upon different students. Oh, that scared me. And so I'd be in the back of the room. It wasn't that I didn't know how to read. I was just so scared to say anything. And so, you know, she'd be, all right, next student. I'm like, and she calls somebody else like, oh, but then she would call me. And I remember trying to read out of the book, and I just couldn't do it. I was so nervous. So I was like, so in the, and I hated it. So I hated speaking in class. And that might be some of you. So I want to let you know that I'm going to do my very best not to call upon you. All right, I'll do my very best. If we have enough students participating, then we're all good. Now, if we don't, then that's a different story. But if we have enough students participating, then there's a good chance you may not have to speak too much in this class. That might be a relief. But if you're one of the students that likes speaking in the class or don't mind, man, you'll have a chance for a lot of extra. Because what I do is I'm always walking around with this clipboard. And what I do is I keep track of things on here. And one of the things I keep track of is participation points, extra credit points. So if I ever ask a question and you raise your hand and I call upon you, you'll see me make a mark on my seating chart. I'm basically giving you extra credit. So if you don't mind speaking in the class, this class is going to be for you. You'll get a chance for a lot of points. With that said, let's try this here. It is written as V-I-G-I-L. If you had to guess how to pronounce it, would anybody want to take a guess how to pronounce it? Right or wrong, you get points. Would anybody want to take a guess? Yes, sir. How'd you know that? All right, anybody else? Going once. Yes, sir. What's that? All right. Anybody else? Oh, you guys are taking it easy. All right. Well, I remember I would pronounce it as Vigil. Kind of like V-I-G, it looks like Vigil, right? Some people will see it and they'll put doesn't look too familiar, so they'll put an R in there and they'll call me Virgil. All right, easy enough or enough. But the way it's pronounced is Vigil. At least that's how my family pronounces it, is Vigil. But when I was a kid, I mean like little kid, like first grade, second grade, I had a hard time with our name. And I would basically write my name like this. Because my dad would say, you know, my dad's Mexican, Hispanic. Son, you should be proud of your name, your heritage. You know how dads do things, right? All right, son, there's so much in the name. And so you got to know what your name is. And so I knew my name was Vigil. And so I would write, this is like in first grade, second grade, my name like this, V-H-I-L-L. That's how I was writing my name on my papers, V-H-I-L-L. And I remember at one parent conference, my dad was there, and he looks at it, he goes, what's that, son? I go, that's our name, Dad. That's not our name. I go, yeah, it is. It's Vigil. I go, son, that's not how you do it. I go, but I thought you said it. He goes, no, you write it like this, V-I-G-I-L. And I go, Vigil? He goes, no, son, it's V-Hill. That doesn't make, and I was so confused. And so what I had to do in order to figure this out, first grade, second grade, it's not like I was in high school when I was doing this, is I started writing my name like this on my papers, V-I-G-I-L. And so if I still had those papers, you would see a couple of them with my name looking like this. And then, to make it cute, I would draw a little hill. Aww, cute. So it's V hill, right? I got a little hill. So I knew how to write it, V-I-J-L, but because of the hill, I remember how to pronounce it, which was V-Hill. And so if you need to get my attention, my name is Mr. V-Hill, but I'll be honest with you, if you mispronounce it, I am not going to be offended. Do not even worry about how to pronounce it. As long as you're here learning, I'm quite happy. But that is how you say my name. Questions on that? All good. The purpose of today is just for you to kind of get know a little bit about me. We're going to dive a lot more into this class tomorrow and next week. You know, you got to do you guys know that syllabus? Oh, don't you guys hate the syllabus? Of course, we'll do that in this class. So we'll talk more about this class in the upcoming days. But I want to take today to kind of just let you know more about me. So, extra credit points. Does anybody want to guess how old I am? Oh, yes, sir, back there. Over 30. So you're saying, I'll take it. Over 30. All right. Brian. That's pretty precise, man. Nostradamus, 52. Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry. 46. Anybody else? 45. Anybody else going once? Twice? First of all, Ramon, what did you say? All right. And Ryan, you said, did you hear that from somebody? That's exactly right on. 52. And so 52 years of age. Some other things about me. Not that you really care or anything. I feel like it's like a dating website here. Some other thing you got to know about me is that I'm a Pisces. You guys know your zodiac signs? Pisces. I don't know. Is anybody else a Pisces? I don't know if Pisces. We're like the little fish. Birthday is March 5th. So if you want to give me a gift, feel free. March 5th. I'll take Starbucks gift cards. I'm cool with that. Or Dutch Bros. What else can I tell you? I've been teaching a long time. I've been teaching for 20 plus, I think it's like my 21st or 22nd year teaching. I've been teaching longer than you guys, God, makes me feel old. I've been teaching longer than you've been born. That's weird. I'm older than Google. Isn't that kind of crazy? You can tell by the gray hairs, not that I have any. My wife thinks I should dye my hair black. And I'm like, nah, I think it makes me look smart. I don't know if she's right or wrong. But anyways, so 52 years old, teaching a long time. I've been married for 20-something years as well. I have 3 kids. Pay attention. There'll be a little quiz at the end here. I have 3 kids. The oldest, her name is Michaela. She is like 21 years of age. And she just graduated from UCR. And she's thinking about becoming a psychologist. She's not sure exactly what yet, but a psychologist maybe. My son is 19 years old. His name is Lucas. He goes to Mount San Jacinto, that's near the college, right? Mount San Jacinto. And he's looking to be something with computer science. He has a job right now doing IT, and he loves it. So something with the IT field. And then my youngest daughter, her name is Sierra, and she is 17 years old. She's a senior, and her goal in life is to become a zoologist. And we already got her college picked out and everything. So 3 kids. Oh, animals. I always used to say I had 4 dogs. We love dogs. I used to have 4, but at the beginning of the summer, our 2 oldest, we had to put them down. Their names were Chester and Chewy. They were just like 14, 15 years old. They could barely walk. It was a hard thing to do. Man, it was a lot of tears. But we put our 2 oldest dogs down. So now we only have 2 dogs left. And the 2 dogs that are left, one is Destiny, and the other is Rocky. Now, Rocky's kind of more of my dog. The reason I gave him the name, Rocky is so ugly, he's cute. You know what I mean? So ugly, he's cute. And so I named him Rocky because he's such a small little dog. I wanted to give him like a strong name so that way he wouldn't I don't know, looks so pathetic. In fact, here, let me see if I can get this here for you. Here is a quick video of Rocky and Destiny. Let's put it up there for you. Oh, look at that. See, Rocky's the one on the left. He's like a pug chihuahua mix. And then that's Destiny right there. I think it was like Rocky's birthday, so we went to, I think, Dutch Bros. I don't know, like a little puff thing. Anyway, is he ugly or is he cute? Hey, who said that? Ugly. Yeah, I think he's ugly. Anyways, that's Rocky and Destiny. My wife asked me this morning if I'm excited about this school year. And I actually told her, yeah, I'm pretty excited about the school year. It's kind of cool to be part of a job that after 20-something years you're still excited. And she asked me, why am I excited about the school year? And what happens is when you've been teaching as long as I have, a lot of cool things happen. You see your former students. And here's what I know to be a truth. You guys are going to go on to do amazing things. I know this because I've seen it time and time again. There would be students I would have in 8th grade. I would look at them and go, I don't know what's going to happen with them. And they go on to own their own business or do something incredible. I am certain that in about 20 years, something's going to happen to me. They're going to take me to the hospital, and I'm almost certain that the doctor there is going to be probably one of my former students. It could be actually one of you guys. That's about right. I've seen it time and time again. I was at a meeting at the high school, and one of the new teachers comes up to me and she started talking. She was a former student. I'm like, what? Former student? Now she's like a coworker. I think our campus security was a former student of mine. In fact, one of my favorite stories is I had a student, and she has some medical issues. And what happened was she wasn't sure she could go on to college. And I said, yeah, go on to college. You can do it. And she went on to college, and then she wanted to become an archaeologist, but she didn't think she could be an archaeologist because of medical conditions. And I said, no, I think you can't do it. Become an archaeologist. The next thing I know, 2 years later or so, she sends me an email, and she's telling me that she is in Mexico working at a Mayan dig site. And you know, you see in the movies where they have the little brushes? That was her. And she was there, and she was telling me how she picked up this little Mayan toy. And she thought to herself, I am the first person to hold this toy in 1,000 years. The last person to touch this toy was some Mayan child 1,000 years ago. And she's telling this to me in an email, and then at the very end she said, thank you. And I almost started crying. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, man. There's a former student of mine that went on to do great things. She was saying thank you, and it blew my mind. In fact, last year, you guys remember the concert we had last year, that big Samoan guy up on stage, right? The story with him, well, in fact, here, if you weren't here, here's, make sure we all know who we're talking about here. This guy, let's see. Oh, that's not him. So Sweezy, the story with Sweezy, he used to be a former student of mine. And he went on to Alabama, I think it was, played football in Alabama, and he came back here and he started his kind of his rap career, I guess you would call it. And then I remember out of the blue, this a couple years ago, out of the blue, I'm actually at one of my kids' schools, and this big Samoan guy comes up behind me and picks me up. I'm kind of a big guy. He picks me up off the ground like nothing. I turn around, it's him, like, hey, what's up? And so we started keeping contact. And then at the beginning of last year, we had a meeting, the teachers. We're like, what can we do as an incentive for students that are doing well? And one of the things we came up with a concert. And then suddenly I thought, hey, maybe he could do it. So I reached out to Sweezy, and he said, yeah, I would love to do it. But the cool thing about it is, if you would have asked me, I don't know, 15 years ago, I'd probably never see the guy again. The next thing you know, we're talking on the phone and kind of hanging out a little bit, and he's here, and I'm so excited for you guys. I know you guys are in 8th grade, and you're like, 8th grade, school, whatever. But I've been doing this long enough to know that there is an incredible future for all you guys, and I get to be a little bit part of that. I get extremely excited. So once again, we're going to do a lot of stuff in this class history. We'll talk more about that, but I just kind of want to leave off that. And the final thing we'll leave off on is this, what I did this summer. Does anybody want to know what I did this summer? Someone? Yeah, you do. Here we go. This summer, I did something I never thought I would ever do, and that is I created this board game. Right? Out of all things, I'm not sure where it came from, how it all started. There's a whole long story behind it, but I created this board game. And the reason I'm telling you this, because if I'm 52 years old and I can use a summer to create a board game, nothing that special, man, imagine what you can do with the rest of your life. Oh, it's going to be incredible. And so I created a little board game, and the idea is called The Great Barnyard Escape. The idea is that these little characters are trying to escape the barnyard to get to the pasture. And so what I had to do for this game, a lot to it, but I had to create these little characters, these little pieces. And so you got 4 little animals here. You got a sheep that is right here. We bought a 3D printer, and we're printing these little items out. So we got a sheep right here. We got a pig right here. We got a chicken, a cow, and you can't quite see it, but this is a little pile of poop, right? So anyways, that's the game. But this summer, me and the wife and the kids, we all kind of got together. In fact, at the end of last school year, had quite a few of my 8th graders come in and actually play, before we got here, they actually helped me kind of build it. We had an idea, they're playing little games on this paper and stuff. So with their help, we were able to kind of make stuff like this a reality. But that's what I did this summer. All right. Now, what we're not going to do today, hopefully you're okay with this, are you guys know those icebreakers? Oh, I hate those icebreakers. We're not going to do an icebreaker in class. Once again, there may be some of you that are not comfortable doing that, and I know because I was one of those students. But we are going to give you some extra credit points. So let's see who wants some points. First thing is, somebody raise your hand. How do you pronounce my last name? Over here to Ramon. Mr. Vigil, there we go. Easy enough. What is the name of one of my kids? One of my kids. Anybody? Let's go ahead and have Allison. Michaela. Does anybody know how old Michaela is? 21. Does anybody know where she just graduated from? Oh, yeah. UCR. She graduated from UCR. Excellent. Give me a name of one of my other kids. Over here to Liviana. Sierra. Sierra is my youngest. She is how old? How old is Sierra? Does anybody know? Yes. 17. And what does she want to do once she graduates and all that fancy stuff? Where does she want to become? Yes. A zoologist. There you go. I got one more child. It's my son. Does anybody remember the name of my son? Going once. Yes, sir. Not quite. Lucas. Lucas is the name of my son. And he is 19 years old. You know, it's weird because when it was a long time ago. It seemed like it just happened yesterday. It was a long time ago. I remember I was taking a jiu-jitsu class a long time ago. And I would come home and Lucas, who must have been like, I don't know, it's probably like 10 years ago now or something like that. He must have been like 9 years old. And I would show Lucas, some of the moves, right? That's what Dad does with his son. Show him the moves, right? We kind of practice a little bit. We kind of wrestle. It was all fun and everything. Then I remember we were at the kitchen counter. Me and my wife were at the kitchen counter. And then my wife looks into the living room and she yells, "Lucas, stop!" And I look over there and he had his oldest sister, Michaela, in a rear naked choke. You know what a rear naked choke is? We kind of go behind somebody, kind of like this, and you choke. He had her in a rear naked choke. And the beautiful thing about it was he had the right form. He had it locked in tight. You're supposed to put it right here, locked in tight. He had his legs kind of wrapped around her legs so she didn't get out. And he was doing a rear naked choke. And my wife like, "Lucas, oh my gosh, stop it. Where did you learn that from? And she's all mad at Lucas. And I'm over there like, yeah, good job, son, right? Because it's my little boy. But now that he's 19, oh man, this guy's working out, he's fit. I'm not even say we wrestle, but you know, if we kind of just whatever a little bit, I'm exhausted after 10 seconds. And so it's at a point in time now that if Lucas wanted to, probably put me in a rear naked choke. So it's weird to get into this stage in life when you're seeing your little kids grow up to be a 19-year-old adult. But anyways, Lucas is the middle child. Now I got 2 dogs. Does anybody know the name of one of the dogs? Let's go back here to Ramon. What's that? Rocky. All right, Rocky's a little pug chihuahua kind of dog. Yes, ma'am. What we got, Trini, and the other one? Destiny is the other one. Now, I got to tell you, we are a dog family. We had some dogs a long time ago, 20-something years ago, and you know they passed away and so forth. But for a while there, we didn't have dogs. But then my youngest daughter, Sierra, our friends came over with their dog, and Sierra just started freaking out. She was so scared of dogs, and we couldn't figure out why she was so scared of dogs. And we realized because she never grew up around them, because by the time she was born, we already got rid of the other ones and so forth. And so we said we need to get some dogs. And we started to get some dogs and 2 and so forth. But at one point in time, this is how much we love dogs. My wife did doggy daycare. And I'm not sure if you have an idea what that is, but what happened, if someone's going out of town, they would call my wife and they say, hey, I'm gonna be gone, can you watch our dog for us? And so my wife would say, yeah, and people would bring over their dogs. At one point in time, in my house, we had 14 dogs. We had stuff from Rottweilers down to Chihuahuas, Pit Bulls, German Shepherds, Poodles. We had all these different dogs. And I remember me, my wife, and the kids would walk down the street with these dogs. If you saw someone coming at you with 14 dogs, would you get out of the way? Yeah, they see us go 14 dogs, like, oh my gosh, and they would jump to the other side. It was the coolest thing though, because here we had 14 dogs all in the same house, and they never got in a fight. And the kids loved it, man. They're playing with the dogs. We loved it. So we're definitely a dog family. So we're down to 2 right now. There's always talk about getting more, but we will see where that goes. All right, another thing. Here we go. Double extra credit points. If my wife was to walk in here, what would you address, or what would you call my wife? What's my wife's name? Oh, go ahead. Rasha. Rasha, am I saying right? Rasha. All right. I'll mess it up. Sorry. What would you call her? Mrs. V. Hill. You got it. If she ever comes in here, just call her Mrs. V. Hill. All right. Questions so far?